All right, we are recording. This is Kids Who Cook. We are making the vanilla cookies with the strawberry buttercream in the middle. And we are going to start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to kind of do double duty here. So I'm going to get the ingredients up. I do see someone just joined us, so give it 1 second. All right, so if you're just joining us, all we've done so far is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. I already washed my hands. Hopefully your hands are washed as well. And so we're gonna go over the ingredients for the cookies that you'll need right now. You will need, I'm gonna pull up my screen here. You will need 1 box of vanilla cake mix, and it can be any brand that you have. 2 eggs. Coconut oil, so I just have it here in the jar. And then freeze-dried strawberries. If you couldn't find these, that's okay. You can use fresh strawberries. I did manage to find some, but not as many as I wanted. So you're supposed to have some half-cup freeze-dried strawberries. I have some in this little baggie, and this was all I was able to find, but I'm still gonna put it in my cookies. And then baking powder. So that's what you need for the cookies, and that's what we're going to start with. If you only have fresh strawberries, that is okay. You can add some fresh strawberries to your cookies if you want, or if you just want it to be in the frosting, that's okay too. For those of you that just joined us, I'm going to throw the recipe in the chat again, in case you fall behind or can't stay for the whole program. It should have been 45 minutes on the website, but it was only 30. And so if you can't stay, that's okay. All we've done so far is we've started our oven going to 350, and we've gone over the ingredients for the cookies, for the cookie part. And we are going to get started. So I'm going to move my area, move some stuff in my area. I live in an apartment, so not a ton of room. And so that way I can move my computer so everybody can see. You'll also want to get your cookie sheet ready. If you have parchment paper, you can line it with parchment paper, or I'm going to spray mine down with just an olive oil spray. And you can do that right before you put your cookies on or right now. And then I'm going to get my bowl. And if I am going too fast, please put that in the chat. I can slow down, I can wait, I can take a minute. And again, the recipe is in the chat as well. And I will be trying to follow the directions on my computer and having my bowl here. So, all right. So we have preheated the oven to 350. We have our baking sheet. I'll probably need to get one more out. And we have washed our hands, and that's where we are right now. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to get our cake mix, and we are going to put it into our bowl. We are not following the directions on the cake mix box, so you don't need that. I'm going to pour it in. I'm already getting messy. That's what happens during this program. I'm going to check the chat. We are good. So we have poured our mix into our bowl here. And then we are going to put our pretty much all of the ingredients that were on the top of the recipe. So next we're going to do our eggs. So our 2 eggs. Right into this bowl. Put my bowl over here. Give everybody a second to crack your eggs. We have the eggs and the cake mix. Sorry, the lighting's a little weird. Then we are going to do a half cup of our coconut oil. So I have my coconut oil here. There's not very much in this one. Good thing I brought another one. Whatever coconut oil you have is okay. I'm not sure if it'll work with another kind of oil, but I bet it will. I'm just measuring out my coconut oil here. I'm gonna get my other jar of coconut oil. And again, let me know if I'm going too fast. Pour that in. And I only used a 1/4 cup, so I'm gonna do one more. I'll check the chat in 1 second. My oven is preheated. All right, so we got that in there. Some on the counter. Put this back aside. Everyone seems to be doing okay in the chat. All right, we're going to put our freeze-dried strawberries in. So again, if you couldn't find enough or you don't want to put them in the vanilla cookies or you want to put some fresh strawberries in, that's probably okay too. I know I didn't have a cup, but mine came in a bag with strawberries and bananas. And let's see. The last thing is 1/2, so half a teaspoon of baking powder. So half a teaspoon of baking powder. Dump that in. And that is it for that. My kitchen is always a mess after these programs, and I love it. Okay. We have everybody a second to get all of those ingredients in. So I'm going to slowly mix. That was the last step for the cookies. And let's see. You can just stir it together with the spoon. I'm going to start with the spoon. If that doesn't work, I will try to use a different spoon. But so you're just, and I'll show you what mine looks like after it's all stirred together. And it should start to form a dough. You might have to really work it for a little bit. So let's see if you can kind of see. Oh, that's a good freeze-dried strawberries at Trader Joe's. That's a good tip. I had to go, I was at King Soopers, so I'll have to try Trader Joe's next time. They were in the like snack aisle, which I wasn't expecting. They were with all like the other bagged fruits at King Soopers. All right, so mine's like starting to form a dough, as you can see. If you need a tiny bit more liquid, it never hurts to put a little bit of water in there. but you might just really have to work it into a dough. Make sure we're good on Ted's side. We are good on chat. We are. So you want to make sure you get all of the cake mix mixed in. You can even use your hands if you would really like to. You'll get messy, although we are maybe going to use our hands in a second to form the dough. Mine is almost there, I think. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Once your dough is formed, if you would like to start making balls of dough, you can. Let me see. It suggests, let's see, 1.5 inch, 31.5 inch balls. If yours don't make that, that's okay. I'm always bad at measuring out how big my cookie dough balls are, but they don't have to be perfect, right? We're gonna eat them. Sorry, use my hand. I'm gonna wash my hands before we do the balls. So if you are good at it and want to do it by spoonfuls, you can. I like to get messy when I cook, so I'll probably use my hands to make the balls. Almost mixed in. All right, I think we're gonna call that good, and I'll show you all what it looks like. All right, here is my dough. Lighting's kind of terrible. There you go. And I'm gonna wash my hands really quick so that I can make the balls, and I'll show you what mine look like. Let me know if you have any questions so far. Okay, I'm gonna move my bowl for frosting. I'm gonna move my stuff over so everyone can see. All right, here's my tray. I'm going to take some of my dough, and so it depends on how big you want your cookie sandwiches to be, right? So I'm gonna just fold about this big. Let's see, here it is in relation to my spice. I'm just gonna put it on my tray. And we're gonna keep doing this until all your cookie dough is gone. We are going to cool our dough for about 10 minutes. It helps it bake better. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. We might even only do 5 minutes, but we are going to put it in the freezer if you have room for a few minutes. Some of my balls are a little smaller, a little bigger. Depends just how big you want your sandwiches to be. Also, I realized before this program that I was hungry, so I'll be eating these probably as a pre-dinner snack. All right, I don't know if I'll get 30 cookies, we'll see. Seems ambitious. As always, I would love to see your creations when you're done. You can respond to the email I sent yesterday or today, depending on when you got it. We love to see pictures of what you guys create. Everybody's always looks so different and fun, which I appreciate. This is our last Kids Who Cook program for a while. If you do like this program and you haven't joined in the past, we do have all of our old ones up on our website. If you go to arapahoelibraries.org and check out the kids 5 to 12 page, they're all up there, or most of them should be up there. I think we forgot to record one. We are going to start trying to do some outdoor programming this summer, still some virtual programming as well, for those of you who do not want to come back to the library yet. So we still will have options, just not this Kids Who Cook program right now. We may bring it back. It's been a pretty fun program, that's for sure. All right, I am gonna have to get out one more cookie sheet. So I have 12 so far. So you do want to try to make an even number if you can, or you can just eat the extra. But since you're making sandwiches, connected to my headphones, we'll see if I can make it. I can. All right, so I'm gonna put this one in the freezer quick. Again, I don't know if my headphones will reach. Ooh, this one's tough. I am gonna have to take out my headphones to get it in. Be right back. In the freezer, one down. I'm gonna do my last one. So I had 12 on that one. Let's see how many we get here. If you get done before I do, feel free to kind of clean up your space and get ready for the frosting. We will be doing that next. These ones maybe I'll make a little smaller because this is a smaller cookie sheet. So it's 417. I'm gonna let our cookies chill till 425. I guess we'll get this one in too, but yeah, I looked for recipes a long time ago and I looked for spring desserts, and then of course it's Colorado and we have snow today. All right, 3, 6, 9, 10 plus 12 equals 22. I'm gonna make this little extra baby cookie that I'll probably just eat. All right, so I'm gonna stick that in the freezer as well. So I'm gonna take off my headphones here in a second again. They just don't quite reach. And then I'm gonna get my space ready for frosting, and everyone can do the same. If you could in the chat, let me know when your cookies are cooling or when you're done with the cookies so that we can all kind of be ready to do frosting at once. All right, I had to do some adjusting in our freezer, but it's in there. If everyone could let me know when you're done with those cookies, we will try to move on together. And checking the directions, making sure we're good. All right. All right, I see one in the freezer so far. Thanks for letting me know. Go ahead and get ready for some frosting. Okay. For this one, if you can, you are going to need a blender. We're going to blend up our chopped strawberries, and then you'll need another bowl. And then if you have a mixer, it will make this easier as well. If you don't, that's okay. You can hand mix. Okay. That sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. Give everybody about 2 more minutes so we can get our frosting started. And like I said, this program was meant to go until 4:45. And so if you can't stay, that's okay, but I would love if you could stay as long as possible. We won't be able to finish the whole thing together, but we'll be able to finish a lot of it. All my ingredients ready. So you should have, the first step you're gonna need is a half of a cup of chopped strawberries. They are gonna go in the blender, so it's okay if they're bigger pieces as well. I'm actually going to bring my computer to my blender. But we'll mute you guys when I do it. All right, friends, we have about 1 more minute and then I am going to start the frosting. So if you haven't let me know where you're at, please do. Or if you need another minute, definitely let me know as well. So the cookies will have to cool after we bake them, which is why we won't be able to finish everything together. But we are going to make the frosting and kind of go over all of those steps. The cookies will come out of the oven most likely before we're done, but we just won't be able to assemble them together. The cooler the cookies are, the better the frosting will stay in the middle. So we do want that to happen. All right, friends, I am going to blend up my half a cup of chopped strawberries. Like I said, if you need a minute or two, or if you're a little behind, feel free to put in the chat where you're at. You can send it just to me if you want as well, but I just don't want to go too fast. So I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna put my strawberries in the blender and show what that looks like when I'm done. Also, I'm just gonna put my blender on the lowest setting that I have. And then you might have to stir it around a little bit. Now we're gonna try again. I'm gonna do one more time. I had to go 1 up on my blender. So I was on stir and I did puree and that worked a little bit better. So I'm gonna stir them all in 1 more time and blend 1 more time. All right, those look good. So I'm gonna leave those there and move back over. All right, So now you're going to want to get your bowl out, and I'll give everybody another second to keep pureeing your strawberries. Let's see what time it is. All right, it is 4:25 as well, so I'm going to take my headphones off and pop my cookies in the oven. They only need to bake. Let me double check before I tell you the wrong thing. So we froze, bake. So about 9 minutes, the recipe says. Every oven is different. It says until just before turning golden. And then, yeah, then we'll cool them. So about 9 minutes. So I'm going to put my headphones down. Please let me know in the chat or Q&A if you have a question. All right, friends, my cookies are in the oven and I set my timer for 9 minutes. We are going to continue the frosting process. So again, let me know if you're behind. I don't want to rush anyone. So your next step is to get your butter ready. You need 1 cup of butter. So I have half sticks, which is going to be 4 little half sticks or 2 full sticks. And you're also going to need your mixer if you have one. So you can pour your butter in the bowl. Set that here. Butter check to make sure Ted hasn't messaged me. We are good. I'm getting very messy. I put my butter out to soften and it's definitely soft. Wash my hands quickly after this. Okay. So we have our cookies in the oven, our butter in the bowl, our strawberries are blended. Let's see. So we are going to just beat the butter by itself until it's creamy. So I am going to hook up my mixer. And I am going to beat the butter on the low until it's creamy. All right, so here's what my butter looks like. It's very creamy. I'm gonna do it just one more time for good measure, but it doesn't take very long. Depends on how soft yours was too. I thought I had stuff on my shirt. It's my necklace. I will have stuff on my shirt shortly though. We're using powdered sugar. All right, I'm gonna get a spatula, scrape that off into there, into the bowl, scraping my mixer off, getting the rest of the butter in the bowl. Give everybody a second, but while you're waiting, if you're done, you can grab powdered sugar is next. And we are going to do this slowly. So you need 4 cups, which is about 1 pound of powdered sugar. And so I'm going to add just 1 cup at a time when I do mine. Everybody just a second to get caught up. Well, again, let me know if you're behind. It's hard for me to know because I'm just doing it by myself, but I know some people are doing it with multiple kiddos. It's hard to know if you're where you're at, so definitely let me know. All right, everyone seems to be good. So I'm going to slowly add my powdered sugar. So I am going to do 1 cup at a time of powdered sugar. 1/2 cup. 1 cup. Take my spatula out and I am going to whisk that in slowly. My slow setting on my mixer just doesn't seem that slow. All right. So it's mixed into the butter. I have like a light, kind of like a lighter fluffy. It's not all the way mixed in, and I'm going to add another cup. 1. Oh, I knew I'd get messy. There it goes. 2. Double check chat. Okay. I'm going to mix. So I'm on cup 2 with my butter. Again, I have like a lighter, fluffy mixture. If you pick it up and put it together, it kind of is like dough right now. And I am going to, again, double check. Perfect. I'm going to keep adding my powdered sugar. So now I'm on cup 3. 1. I don't know why I wore black. Whenever I wear black and powdered sugar, it's all over my clothes. So that was cup 3. Again, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done with cup 3. It kind of almost looks like popcorn to me. But if you put it together, it's like a dough. Like very fluffy popcorn, I should say. I'm gonna add my cup 4. 1. Oh, there we go again. 2. That was 4 cups of powdered sugar. It's all over me. Okay. And I have about a minute left on my cookies. All right, so this is what mine looks like. And I'm gonna stop there for a second. It's a little, it looks fluffy, but then when you put it together, it's like a dough. I am gonna check on my cookies. They look like they're done now, might be another minute or so. So I might probably need a couple more minutes, but definitely decide what is best for yours. We will be taking them off to cool, or you can leave them on for another minute to let them cook that way as well. So we give everybody another minute or so to keep beating in your butter, your sugar, and to check on your cookies. We will be adding vanilla, sea salt, and our pureed strawberries to this mixture in a minute. So I'm gonna give everybody a quick second. I'm gonna take off my headphones to get my space ready. Set my timer for one more. I'm going to take out my cookies in just a minute and let them sit for a second. They're definitely almost done, but I'm going to let them cook on the pan, I think, for a minute. Let me know in the chat if you need anything. Seems like everyone's doing okay. I'm still not confident that my cookies are done. All ovens are so weird and hard. Oh, I should mess up the one that I'm going to eat. Okay, I'm going to let them cook on the tray for a second and see how that's going to turn out. While I'm waiting for my cookies to cook for a minute, I am going to just dump my strawberry mixture into here. Or my pureed strawberries, I should say. Not gonna mix anything yet, just dumping them in. Okay. My strawberries are in the bowl. I'm also going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a fourth a teaspoon of sea salt. If you don't have sea salt, you can just use regular salt. So a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Better close that or something bad will happen. And then a fourth a teaspoon. I'm gonna turn my camera down in a second so you can see what it looks like after I mix it, of sea salt. Everything's good. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to mix again. And you want to beat it until it's creamy. You can kind of see mine's getting like a creamy frosting-like consistency. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And turn it up just one more. Just make sure it's really mixed in. Okay. I think that's done. I'm gonna taste test it. Let's see. It's really good. It tastes like strawberry frosting. All right, I'm also going to take my cookies off of my tray and put them onto a cooling sheet. And then we'll kind of go over last steps. My cookies are going to be big ice cream sandwiches, but I'm okay with that. Or I shouldn't say ice cream sandwiches, buttercream sandwiches. Also, if you don't want to make them into sandwiches, you could just frost the tops. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Again, cooking is all about experimenting and having fun. So if something doesn't turn out the way you want it to, you can always make it into something else. If your sandwiches aren't working, put the buttercream on top. Oh, this one's a little harder. Okay. Again, if you have questions, now is a good time to put them in the chat. We are just kind of about to go over the last steps before we leave each other today. I didn't put these on here very well, so spreading them out. So we do want these cookies to cool for about 30 minutes before we put on the frosting. If you put them on while it's still warm, the buttercream will just melt. Okay. All right, so my cookies are now cooling off. They're over here. I'll show you what they look like. There we go. Now, so you can kind of see the freeze-dried strawberries in them. I think that if you used a yellow cake mix, I think that they would still work out. I think they would just be maybe a slightly different flavor, but I think they'd still be delicious. In fact, I think trying it with any cake mix for cookies, like a chocolate, would be good too, especially with the strawberry. Good idea. All right, I'm gonna give everybody a second to ask questions, catch up. I'm gonna make sure we haven't missed anything. So we added our vanilla salt and our strawberries. We mixed it up till it was creamy and then light and fluffy. Okay, that was, so the last step I missed because I ran out was if you have more freeze-dried strawberries, then you can fold, not mix or beat, but fold those into your frosting. So I don't have any more, but if you do, you can fold those into your frosting. And then you can also use those to garnish the sides of your cookies if you want. So once you put your frosting in between the two cookies, you could also roll your cookies in the freeze-dried strawberries as kind of like a garnish. So that is up to anyone who has more freeze-dried strawberries. The last tip and trick that I'm going to show you, or talk about the last steps while we're waiting for things to cool, is the frosting process. So each sandwich is going to need 2 cookies, and you are just going to put buttercream frosting on one of the cookies. I do not have a piping bag, so there's a couple ways you could do this. You could pipe it in there. I don't have a piping bag, but you could use I have a sandwich bag, so I'll tell you that in a second. Or you could just use a spoon and scoop it in between the 2 cookies, press them together, and done. I do not have a piping bag, and so I'm going to show you the trick, which is you will put your frosting in this bag. So I'm going to get a spoon out. And you're just going to scoop it into the sandwich bag. Again, I'm very messy, so use the bag to help scrape it off your spoon. All right, I'm not gonna do all of it yet. I will, but then you are going to cut a hole into the corner. So depending on how much or how fast or how much of your frosting you want to come out at one time. I'm just gonna do a tiny hole. It's a little bigger than I wanted, but I can always do the other side. So now when I shut my bag here, so when I squeeze out my frosting onto my cookies, we'll do it over the bowl. I'm going to squeeze it like this, and I'm going to just pipe it around my cookie. And that makes the frosting easier to come out. And you can make little designs if you want that way. It just makes it easier. So there are piping bags if you have one, but this works just as well. So that is the last step of the cookies. So I would let your cookies cool at least until about 5:15 tonight, depending on when you took them out. And then when you're done, when they're done cooling and are cooler to the touch, you can put the frosting on. I will probably store mine in the fridge just to keep that frosting a little bit firmer, but you don't have to store them in the fridge if you don't want to. That is all we have for today. Please send me pictures if you would like after your cookies are all done. I would love to see what those look like and what they taste like and how you liked this. I will be sending out a program evaluation shortly here after the program. And if you have any feedback for us, let us know. I'm going to hang out for a couple more minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I'm going to stop the recording.